A lot of findings in there.
And Martha, there's some new questions this morning about congressional testimony from IRS Chief John Koskinen to Congress about Lois Lerner's missing emails. This is Koskinen on June 20th when he testified before the House Oversight Committee.
The actual hard drive, after it was determined that it was dysfunctional and that with experts no emails could be retrieved, was recycled and destroyed in the normal process.
So was it physically destroyed?
That's my understanding.
But Justice Department attorneys now have said that they claim computer records are saved on a massive government backup system, though there are some conflicting claims on whether that apply to Lerner's emails.
Every time John Koskinen comes in front of the committee, he says something, and then we subsequently learned that he wasn't being straight with us, he wasn't being clear with us, he wasn't being straightforward.
Is that the case? North Carolina Congressman Mark Meadows is joining us. He's also on the Oversight Committee. Congressman, you heard that testimony. Do you think that he's being straight and truthful, or is he misinformed?
Well, Eric, the real problem is another week goes by and another story comes out, and that's what the American people fail to understand. My good friend Trey Gowdy said, you know, what would a defendant do if they changed their story as many times? What would they be called if they changed their story as many times as the IRS has changed theirs? And his answer was inmate. And the American people fail to have trust in the IRS. We've got to get to the bottom of it. And really, it needs to start with the IRS commissioner. This two-sided of the testimony is very troubling.
What troubles you the most about what he has said?
Well, I think what troubles me the most is we've had 4 IRS commissioners, and yet here we are. He confirmed that they weren't there. Now we're hearing from other sources that indeed that they could be there, or they're just very difficult to retrieve. We also learned that a BlackBerry that probably could have been a backup source for some of those emails, that was destroyed in June of 2012. So it's time for a special prosecutor. It's time that we get an independent source to make sure that we can restore the integrity so the American people can again once start to trust their government.
You know, talk about the BlackBerry, we're looking at Lois Lerner right there. It is Lois Lerner's BlackBerry that they say was destroyed after, and this is the key, after you guys, the Congressional Committee, the investigators started questioning what was going on with the targeting situation. What does it tell you when evidence potentially is destroyed while there is an investigation of it?
Well, Eric, your point is right on. It was not just the investigation that we started. They were doing their own internal investigation. So 2 investigations, a flurry of activity happening in May and June of 2012, and yet we somehow think that it's prudent to get rid of a particular device that may have information. It is extremely concerning for us. I know it's concerning for the American people, and it doesn't promote an element of trust.
Why do you think there isn't any more outrage? I mean, sometimes in the mainstream media and elsewhere. I mean, look, don't you think someone would have said, wait a minute, you better not, don't dump that thing, don't throw it out. It could have some information and we could get in trouble. There could be maybe perjury, obstruction of justice, obstruction of governmental administration, and other potential charges. Keep this thing, you know, give it to a special court master or something.
Well, you and I would do that. Every person on Main Street would do that. If there was an investigation and nothing to hide, they would say, let's preserve this, let's don't get rid of it. And I think that that's what Jim Jordan and so many of my good friends are troubled with as we start to look at it. Also, the IG said that they were going to come out with a report in the middle part of July, and yet we've yet to see anything. Here we are at the end of August. It's time that the American people get the truth.
All right. Apparently, the Treasury IG has another one of Lois Lerner's BlackBerries. Maybe, hopefully, that's in a safe someplace. Congressman Meadows, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.